Hello there, Kara Grandel here, and I am going to do a review of the Hobonichi Techno Cousin Weeks size A5 planner that I've been using for the last 8 years. And I'm obviously a fan if I've been using it for 8 years, but I want to give you a peek inside and to tell you the things that I appreciate about it, especially if you're in pursuit of the planner that makes you as happy as this one makes me. I'm not sponsored by these guys. They don't know who I am. And obviously everybody does their planner differently. So maybe my way won't be your way, but let's go ahead and take a peek. I'm gonna pull you forward and go face down. This is my current planner. I did put it in a leather case. I prefer this size because it's an A5, which is a little bit shy of 6 inches, a little bit over 8 inches. So 5.8 by 8.2 inches, and that makes it an A5. So the planner cover is not made by the same company as the planner, and you can buy lots of different covers that you prefer to go with your planner. And I have another option or two, but I'm not going to open this one because I know a bunch of the Stoics out there like to reference Marcus Aurelius, and I can't think of anything more nightmarish than somebody printing out my journal and planner stuff that's in here and then trying to make text for people to study and copy their lifestyle from. So I sometimes wonder if he's rolling over in his grave thinking about that. So this is the one that's current. These are the last 7 years, and I'm going to open them and show you some of the things that I did to playfully adapt them to fit my style that maybe you would like to copy. So here we go. I'm going to just slide you over like this, and we're going to find a way to make sure you can see the pages a little bit more closely and keep going. Okay, so the first thing I really appreciate is this is the cover. It's like a thick paper. I'm not sure what this is made out of, but it doesn't have a spiral, but it never, I have yet to have one where the binding breaks. And so it definitely alligators on me, alligator mouths, and opens up because that's the way I do my thing. But even with that, this will kind of get compressed and make a shape, but it never breaks. And I absolutely prefer a planner that does not have a spiral, because a spiral gets in the way of what I do on the inside, which is kind of crazy. I'm an art person, I'm a novelist, and so, okay, let's see if we can get in here and show. So I'm gonna playfully fling back and forth because that's what I do. But before we go much further here, I'm going to show you the layout, and then I will talk to specifically what I do in different places. So the layout is when you first open it up, and they haven't changed anything over several years, and so I'm glad. They have a multiple year calendar layout, so you can kind of catch dates if you need it. Then they have a habit tracker, and the habit tracker is one per month, so you get 2 pages of it where there's for January, you have all this space across. You would do them like this up and down, and then you could track all the days of the month this way. So a lot of folks make their habit trackers, but this one has it in there. Then you get a couple of months from the year before. So this would be my 2024 calendar, but it gives you the end of 23, so that you can actually, if you start to go from one planner to the other, you can actually catch it for a month beforehand, which I like. So then every month gets a 2-page layout with the actual calendar. Let me go ahead and hold that up a little closer so you can see. Has little grids on the inside of each day, and there's a little column on the left that makes room for you to write, and a space underneath. I don't know if this will matter to anybody, but the Sunday is on the right-hand side, and the weeks start with Monday. Sometimes that messes people up. So then when you get through the 12 months per year, then you turn into a week at a glance. This one's blank. I don't always use these the way that they're intended. I do all kinds of stuff in them instead, and art, and do all kinds of stuff. But this is what it generally looks like. You have 1 day per week of the week, obviously, with all the time slots in there that you would need. And then, of course, the little calendar up here in the corner. Nothing else written in here, and still a space to write extra notes down one side. And then when you get through that, what I use the most is coming up next, is you get through a week at a glance for all 52 weeks. So, and then you bust into the 1 page per day. So each day of the year has its own calendar page. So like this, and as you can see, sometimes they're filled out for me and sometimes I don't get to it, or I use it differently. Sometimes if I get some blank pages, I'll go back and use them as like journal entries, or I will use them for notes if I'm in a meeting or different things like that. So I love this part, but here's a blank one. So I'll point out that they have quotes written really softly in the bottom corner. And the quotes are, you can choose whether you get them in English or, is it Japanese? Whatever language Hobonichi is. I don't know what it is. And that's up to you. I thought these would be distracting because I don't really want to read someone else's thoughts when I'm in my planner space. But quite honestly, after 8 years, I don't even notice these anymore. And if I'm painting, I just paint right over them. So that's up to you. So each page per day actually has a timeline. And their grid, see the grid in there? So you can, that's what I need because I do not have handwriting that goes in a straight line. So, but yeah, I do have my own style of planner keeping, which I would probably do, I can actually talk to too, because there's some components that I really appreciate having in my space. But, so then when we get to the back, so you get 1 page per day all the way through the year. And then at the back, they always have a few extra things too, which I sort of end up using as pages to do my own thing on, which is awesome too. That was my daughter's wedding, very fun. So these are the ones. So you get a couple blank pages, and then you have a timetable, reoccurring hourly schedule for each day of the week. So like if you have a rhythm to your day, then it has a little bit of graph paper. Then it has your favorites, things that are your favorites, like movies, music, books, whatever. Then if you have a list of 100 that you want to do, like, I don't know if you're reading or entries for anything you want, but there's 100 of them. An interview with yourself, seasonal sweets to make at home. Now remind, if you get the one that's in the other language, you won't be able to read this unless you, so this one's in English. They just made that an option in the last couple of years. And words to remember, caring for your eyes, like there's some health, checking your vision, different things. And this is a 365 checkoff sheet. And I'm not sure, I haven't actually paid attention to see if there's any variables in this, like this has an actual helping you use your Hobonichi page, has gifts, addresses, and personal notes, which sometimes I just go in here and do them in a different way. So I did want to show, this one was in a case, so I wanted to show what I've done with these. So back in the day when my kids were little, I didn't have enough income to buy the beautiful fancy leather planners, and so I would buy a very cheap A5 like vinyl. I mean, it's like a thicker plastic. I don't know. These are so cheap. And you can bend the planner cover back enough to slide it right in there, so it almost makes its own pocket, you know, with this flap here. And then I would put a piece of paper underneath, and sometimes I would put colored paper like this one underneath there, and so it would make it so it had a different look, or I could make it pretty. Sometimes I would get tired of that because then you're looking at it for the whole year. So make sure you go with caution if you want to look at it. This one has a card in the front. I don't know what I did there. This one has black sparkly paper, you know, back in the day, right? But then I would poke a hole inside on the back end, and on the inside I would tie a knot, and then I would use a really nice heavy elastic, and I could actually go like this and keep it. And sometimes I would put charms. All of these that don't have the cover had that. The elastic, sometimes I take them off when I want to store them, but sometimes if I didn't get the right kind of elastic, the elastin would wear out, and so then you got to take them off, kind of. But this particular elastic is pretty thick. I want you to see, it's like a little, it's almost like if you took 2 quarters and stacked them on top of each other. It's pretty thick, but then that holds it closed. I do, for myself, I do appreciate a planner with the zipper, because then you can have your pen on the side as you work through your planner the way that you're doing your life. Okay. So I wanted to make sure I show, oh, I actually weighed it. My completed planner weighed 1.5 pounds. So, and that's, as you can see, that's with all of the things already used, you know, so if I put something extra in there and weighed it, that would be what it is. But one of the really big shout outs for me is the paper. So this is a calligraphy pen that is the kind that can bleed through a lot, and it doesn't really bleed through. See how that's the Toma River paper, and that is the main reason why I can actually watercolor, and the paper kind of dries a little like crinkly, like actually this was a little pressed leaves in there. So this is like a full painting. Like this has got, I actually used watercolor or gouache on this, have pen and everything, and then this is the other side. So that is the main reason that I prefer this, and actually kind of like it. The paper, when you get it wet like that, it sort of changes texture. And so then at the end of the year, my whole book has this feel. And actually you can kind of see with this one that I'm working on currently, you can actually almost see where I worked up through to and how much of the year I have left, which I am in love with that. That is a wonderful experience for me. Yeah, so let's see. Calendar in the front, week at a glance, 1 page per day, no spiral size. Oh, I like that it fits into my purse, but it's not too heavy. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm a big fan. I think I've shown you everything that's in there. I hope I didn't leave any big undone questions. You know, and my particular style of use is obviously not going to match everyone's. But they are really, really fun to go back and see. I guess I would just encourage you to not just do your planner for the things that are on your to-do list, but to catch your soul and the things that you appreciate, the beauty in your life, memories of your family. Let it become a time capsule. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure they make ones that are, if you want to start, like right now, say you really love this, you can actually go buy one that starts 6 months through the year. And you can get one, and the one, it'll be about the same fat because they'll give you a bunch of blank pages at the end. And I know this paper's wonderful enough that you can actually go get a journal that has blank pages that's made out of the same Toma River paper. And I think Hobonichi actually makes one also. And so yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm hoping they never go out of business. I'm hoping enough of you guys buy it that they will keep making them, because I would be shocked and lost to not have my beautiful, beautiful experience that I have in here. And every once in a while, something will go through. These highlighters go through from the page to page, and the Copic alcohol markers absolutely go through. And if I do acrylic, I can get it in there and I can dry it, but I either have to seal it or put wax over it because the 2 pages want to kind of keep sticking together for the rest of the time. But yeah, but look at that, like that was ink, and then I painted over the top of it, and there's the back. So that one actually got really wet, so there's a little tiny bit of bleed. Oh no, that was a different kind of ink. See the different kind of ink? I actually think I used like ink from calligraphy, like you would dip your pen down in, and it did go through a little bit. But for what you're doing here, if you saw how much water was sitting on this, you would be as impressed as I am. All right, there you go. I hope you like it. I hope you find this interesting enough that you would want to follow my other ones. I do painting stuff. I do gardening stuff. I'm a novelist. I have a bunch of things that I'm involved in, and mostly I'm just a hangout person. So if you need somebody to watch while you're doing laundry and dishes and like working and doing boring things, yeah, that's me. 1 click above boring, and hopefully a good, enjoyable time. All right, happy plannering. I hope you find the one that you love as much as I love these bad boys. Have a good day.